Hey everybody, KC here. So the announcement has been made that Susan Morris, the COO of Albertsons, will run the retail division of C&S Wholesale Grocers if in fact the $24.6 billion acquisition of Albertsons by Kroger is allowed to go through. And basically what's going to happen is if the deal goes through, 600 or so stores are going to be divested C&S, and those will be her responsibility to run. And now listen, she's going to have her hands full when that happens. When you think about it, Albertsons has 2,200 stores or so. And basically they've said without a merger, they can't really compete. And they may have to close stores and lay people off and stuff like that because their prices are 10 to 12% higher than Kroger's. She's only going to have 600 stores, and yet she's going to have to compete under the same circumstances. And listen, it is yet to be explained to me exactly how that's going to work, but everybody says she is absolutely fabulous. She's terrific, but she is going to have her hands full. So I've talked to a number of people about this, and it's been interesting. One of the things that people have noted is that basically while they've talked about her taking over, they really haven't established who her team will be yet. And they are going to need a strong team to figure out how to make this work. But the other thing that I've talked to people about, and there seems to be some agreement that this makes sense, is that one thing she does need to do is she needs to name a consigliere. She needs to have her Tom Hagen, who's going to basically be there, not necessarily with an operational role, but to be there to provide guidance, help, and help the company do what they need to do. And that's going to be a really, really tough job. And it seems to me to have that job with C&S Retail means they're going to have to focus on two things if they're going to be really successful. One is they've got to focus on frontline personnel, right? How do you make sure that the company is focused on the idea that the people on the front lines are the people who are going to make things work? This company cannot be successful without that. And the other thing is they have to develop a real culture of customer centricity. It has to be built around the culture of customers. If they don't do that, they're going to have problems long term. They're not going to be able to compete in the marketplace. So, as I said, I've talked to a number of folks about this, and there's a name that keeps coming up as being an ideal sort of consigliere for Susan Morris, and that name is Jim Donald, who I assume, if the merger goes through, he's the co-chairman of Albertsons, he won't have that gig anymore. And when it comes to things like understanding the importance of frontline personnel and customer centricity, there is nobody who does it better. That's the kind of person that she's going to need. Again, not somebody with an operational role per se, but somebody who's going to keep an eye on the goal, keep an eye on the prize, and figure out how this company is best going to be able to get there. Anyway, that's not just my 2 cents, but the 2 cents of the number of people I've talked to. It's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.